Hello, welcome to Podcast of the Unaligned. Name, if you have a better one, send it to us. That's what we're going with right now. Welcome to Theater of the Unaligned's new podcast, Podcast of the Unaligned. Do you see the
Podcast of the Unaligned.
I'm Nara from Theater of the Unaligned, and this is
Des from Theater of the Unaligned.
Yeah. This is a new, exciting project. What's it called?
Housekeeping.
Housekeeping to do. This is a new project, so as we mentioned, the name, we are open to suggestions. If you have a good name idea, pop it down below. We're going to be looking, probably obsessively. And also, I'll have more at the end, but let's start there for now. Yeah. How are you doing today, Des?
Good. Do you want to mention the other thing that we're...
Oh, Gen Con?
No. I was going to say...
Not that.
And if you're watching this and you're wondering, why is this not my favorite video podcast from Theater of the Unaligned titled For the Gods? The reason is
that
this is our living room with a very small table.
Yes.
It's less hard to do a talk cast like this than to produce For the Gods. So we want to give you stuff, but our means are small currently.
Yeah, and this is a new adventure for us. We are very excited for this. As Des mentioned, in Living Room, we might have a cat guest at a point. He's very cute. We'll point it out. We won't be able not to. Don't worry.
But we do want to make sure he doesn't catch on fire, so we're going to try to keep him away.
Legit issue.
The candles are lit, and they're real.
And thank you to Des, Jay, and Foster for building this beautiful set. Claps, snaps, whatever you want to do, thank them. We're very grateful. I'm very grateful for making my dreams come true, Des.
Aww. Your dreams of hosting a talk cast.
This is a big deal.
Yeah.
And, okay, also another housekeeping.
Yeah.
A lot of housekeeping. This is still a D&D podcast. We still will be talking about D&D things.
So the D&D stuff.
We might get sidetracked. We might talk about other things. Don't hate us for that.
It's still D&D themed.
D&D-esque.
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 D&D adjacent.
We will be talking about D&D things. Maybe not as much as you want. We're not, like, going into rules we like or don't like. This isn't like our skits where we really...
But
make commentary.
We could, if you want. If there's things you want to see us do on this talk cast, then you know where to go.
Comment below.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week's guest is Des. Next week's guest will be Ben. So, if you have questions for Ben, this is what I was going to mention at the end. But if you have questions for Ben or just general Theater of the Unaligned questions, also pop those below. We will obsessively be going through them.
Yeah. And you can mention at the end again too, because by the time they get through, they'll forget.
Also, I'll probably forget. So can you remind me?
Yeah. No problem.
If you can do that.
No problem.
Yeah. We know we're professionals. We know what we're doing. This is like my second podcast. Not that I've hosted though. I don't know about you. How many podcasts have you been in?
So far, I'm at a strong 0 for...
No, you've been in one.
I guess so.
You and I have both been in now, too.
Yeah, that was, I guess, kind of a podcast, but a bit different. Not as free range, you know?
That's true.
It was
because we were playing
a cooped up cast.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Now let's talk shit about the other... No, I'm just joking.
No.
We don't have anything negative to say, truly, which is genuinely a weird thing.
Yeah.
We are a very good group of friends.
We love our game, which we happen to also put online for other people to see and enjoy. And we are really sad that we aren't playing it.
We are so sad we're not playing it. What was that? Oh, okay.
And recovering.
Can you believe they're an actor?
Yeah, I act.
We are very sad we're not playing For the Gods. In fact, it's been almost a year since we played For the Gods.
No.
I don't remember much, and that scares me.
Yeah.
Like, genuine fear in my soul.
I just remember I was playing someone named Vey.
Yeah, I think my character's name was Riza.
Yeah.
I think they were friends.
Right. Yeah. And very unproblematic, too.
I think so. See, and that's why I'm excited that we are the first two on this podcast. Because I think people think we're problematic, Des.
Do you think that?
No, I think they think we play problematic characters, and they're not wrong.
They might think that. They might.
They're not wrong about
it, though. Wrong.
This is one of Des and I's through lines, where we play a lot of problematic characters.
Yeah.
I will, like...
Have we had a healthy relationship in any D&D game ever?
God, no.
Yeah, no.
Wait.
No.
The very first time I played with you guys was Strahd.
Yeah, we were playing Curse of Strahd.
Curse of Strahd. I joined halfway through.
Yeah.
It was my first session with you guys. Mm-hmm. I think Miko and Torna. I couldn't remember my own character's name. Oh boy. They were quite friendly.
Yeah.
Like, they were friendly, but I think that's because...
You just got there. You weren't trying to cause problems yet.
We weren't close enough to truly expand.
Well, the next campaign we played after that, we played Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
And that's where Ben joined our group.
Yes.
T.
And that was, we were both problematic, but separately. We weren't problematic together yet.
It's true. Because I played a teenager Dragonborn who was like very much going through puberty and like also was a criminal.
Yes.
And Foster did have to take me aside and be like, hey,
you're a bit problematic right now.
You're being too problematic. And that's the only time Foster's done that to me. She was problematic. Like, very genuinely was a bit of an issue.
She was a little wild. She was a little wild child.
I do love her, though, because, like, she calmed down when she found her true love. Yeah. She's made it into other campaigns now. Yeah. We got little sneak peeks of her.
Love conquers all.
Yeah. So does. So does.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't know. I've never been in love. Let's get into that.
So next
question. Yeah, and then the next campaign we played,
we were problematic together.
So
and then we were problematic together. And then we were problematic together. And since then...
We've been problematic together.
Aww.
We get into some shenanigans. And we shenan again.
We shenan again.
Yeah, you see what I did there.
Yeah, I did.
It's not a famous saying or anything, Des.
Shenan again.
Again. Okay. I do want to tell them. Yeah. The Tildale. So after Waterdeep was Tildale.
Yeah. Yes. That was the name of the place that we were. The name of the town was Tildale, and it was created by Foster. Because if you've seen For the Gods, you know that we use a lot of homemade settings and homebrew stuff.
We also. Foster hates when we call that campaign Tildale.
Yeah, because
he's like, it's Rise of Tiamat.
No, it's Rise of the Tyrant.
Oh shoot!
It's a
variation of Rise of Tiamat.
Yeah.
So it became known as Rise of the Tyrant, but we never called it that. We always called it Tildale.
It's a small town.
Very cute. Didn't get burned down. Yeah. Oh no. Wait. No, it did. I'm joking.
It might have.
It might have. Spoilers. Spoilers for a campaign you'll never see. That was the campaign we were originally going to do for our streaming. Yeah. And then we just got too far into it without releasing podcasts. Yeah. And so that one is very near and dear to our hearts. Mm-hmm. But the reason I bring it up is, and you know where I'm going with this. I know where you're going. Because we're talking about you and I as problematic characters.
But this is about us being problematic players.
Yes. Us being problematic. Yeah. No. Okay, so our characters, my character was in love with Dez's character. Lilith was played by me. Jamie was played by Dez. Yep. My character had a huge crush on him.
Yeah, they grew up together.
Childhood best friends. And then he fell in love. Can you believe this? with my arch nemesis.
Her childhood bully.
She bullied me, and you fell in love with her.
She was nice. She was misunderstood, okay?
I mean, I agree because she later joined our campaign and everything. But one time, Des came over to my house.
To, like, do homework.
To do homework, because this is when we were in university. Yeah, that's right, guys. We're students.
Yeah,
we were
have
students.
theater degrees.
Can you tell?
Yeah.
And it was like midnight. Everyone else had left who was doing our homework with us. And me and Des just went, we need to have a talk.
But
in character.
As characters.
I need to stop leaning over so much.
Know.
Yeah, so we decided to talk to each other in character with no one else around.
No supervision.
No supervision. Because we just had to figure some stuff out.
The campaign was very tense. We needed to work through our emotions.
Yeah.
And there wasn't 2 hours of campaign time to dedicate to chatting.
And that's the thing, is we sat on my porch for over 2 hours talking in character for 2 hours.
It's a little cringe.
It's one of my favorite stories of us.
I think it like shows people maybe how intense we are.
We've calmed down as a collective, as a group. We've calmed down a lot.
We're chilling normal now.
We're chiller.
Yeah, and slightly more normal.
Yeah, slightly. Not a lot, but I would say so.
At least 6%.
I feel like us living together got a lot of our weirdness out.
Yeah, we got to be really weird together.
Off
campaign.
And that helped us a lot.
Yeah, we weren't like making content for a good chunk of the time we were living together.
Most of the time we were living together.
We were just being strange.
Yeah, because all of Totu lived together for 3 years.
2.5.
3 years. And we didn't do the start for the gods until like a year before we all moved out.
Yeah.
Hence the reason it's not happening anymore.
Yeah. Oops.
But no. So this is why I'm excited. It's you and me.
Yeah.
Problematic.
We have a history of sorts.
Yes, exactly. And we can talk for 2 hours in character, so this should be a piece of cake.
Me and Nara can talk for a very long time.
We are chatterboxes.
Yeah, we're both certified yappers.
Which is something I'm not. I'm not normally Are you seriously gonna... Okay, well... Sometimes. Get me in a podcast situation and
you might yap away.
I might yap away. Get me out of the podcast situation and I'm not.
Totally chill.
And normal. Yeah, so let's get started.
We're just starting now?
Yeah. All of that's gonna be cut. That was just our warm-up.
Drinking mouth, Nara.
Ah, shucks.
Drinking mouth.
For this, like, I want people to get to know you.
Oh. Me?
Not just, no. Tell us about your first ever D&D character.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm like, I feel like a lot of players, they always remember their first D&D character. Mm-hmm. And they love talking about them, but it's so different usually from anything else they play as they later play. Because, like, we mentioned my first character, Torna.
Very different.
Very different from anything else I've played. And, I mean, I know your first character.
Yeah.
But tell us.
So, my first character, I think, actually isn't that different than most of the subsequent characters I've played, to be honest.
Damn.
My first character... sorry to squash that right away.
This is immediately ruining my theory.
Yeah. But my first character was a tiefling fighter named Despair, and I played her in a homebrewed campaign with Jay. Foster was the DM, and then another one of our friends, you might have seen him in a video or two, or known him from the voice of many NPCs in
Journey to the Quest.
His name is Brendan.
He's guard number 1.
Yeah.
Guard number 2.
He's Mummy.
He's Minotaur.
He's Gary.
Yeah.
So,
we really have him in for pretty much anything that isn't us 5. It's him.
Yeah. So he was there at the start. First campaign I ever played. First campaign that Foster ever DM'd, and Jay I think had played a couple times, but this was the first like long campaign that they played. So we were all very new to D&D. My character Despair, I went with Fighter because I was like, that seems easy.
I do think that it is a good idea to go with like fighter classes or like more simple, because imagine playing Wizard as your first character.
I would cry.
Yeah.
I'm playing Wizard now after playing for like 4 or 5 years, and I'm still confused.
No, it is because spells are confusing.
Yeah.
Like we don't talk about this enough. What's happening with spells?
What is a spell?
What is happening there? What is all these rules around spells?
Yeah. But anyway, Despair, one thing that makes her very different is that she is a female, a woman. I've tended to play a lot more mask characters since then, especially because we have a very femme-heavy group.
We have a very femme-heavy, because I usually play female, Jay usually plays female, and Bin is 50-50.
Bin's 50-50, but I'd say leaning more femme, like For the Gods is different for Bin, because...
Yeah, because he's, well, not super different, because... No, I'm trying to think of his other characters.
Neil was non-binary.
Yeah.
Tierney was female.
But, yeah, Nyx, I still don't know if I would be like, is male though, you know?
I mean, he is a robo.
He's a robo. So I still feel like a little...
and he's cute. Like, he's an adorable robo. It's not like... Bin is not out here playing a big manly man.
No.
I feel like that's something Bin's got to answer next week.
Oh, yeah. I think so many people are going to have questions for... I have so many questions
for Ben, and I've known him for 6 years.
We're just going to have all of Totu in here just to ask a question.
Bring Ben back again to keep asking him
I'm going to have a list written down of just Ben questions. Yeah. Because he is the most perplexing.
True.
But, yeah, you usually do fill in that gap of, like, male character.
Yeah. Because you got to leave the potential... for love open, you know?
Well, first of all, now it sounds like you're saying that gay relationships can't happen.
That's true, but no, I mean, gay relationships can happen. Guys, I am queer. Can you see me? I swear I'm not homophobic.
If you're listening on your phone, quick, open it up so you can see Des so that you can know they're queer, guys.
Queer. But, yeah, I mean, it's just good to have a mix. I mean, nothing wrong with a slay girl party. I mean...
Now I brought it up and now you're like, you're scrambling. No. I do agree that it is nice to have, like, a male energy in a group. Because it's nice to have that mix. Because if it's all girls, like, love an all-girl group. Don't get me wrong.
I love the girls.
Love the girlies. But to have a man is always just brings in more dialogue or like
it brings something,
it brings some shenanigans.
But we never do all men party. That's off the table. Sorry, men.
No way.
Sorry, men.
But I think that's because like Jay I don't think wants to play male characters.
Yeah, Jay's only played one guy character I think ever in a one shot,
and that was with wasn't there a character with Despair male?
No.
Oh shoot.
No, she was a girl. She was.
Wait, who was the male? Well,
and then Melvin was the male.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Melvin played Melvin, who was a Warforged. I think was half elf. And
I'll ask them about it when I have them on
so
here.
we had a mix. But Despair was very chaotic and very evil with like she had no regard for human life except for Melvin, who actually isn't human. So she really had no regard for human life in any way. And Despair and Melvin were the problematic duo before me and Nara had every other problematic duo after.
I replaced Brendan and
But I'd say not that different other than being a big titty woman.
No, but the thing is, you're saying they're not that different, but from what I never played with Despair.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know of Despair versus your characters now, I do think she's so different. Maybe. You always bring chaotic energy. Yeah. That is a given. That is a given. But Despair, like, usually your characters, when they have, like, a lack of human respect for human life.
All of my characters have a secret heart of gold.
Yeah.
But Despair did not.
But Despair did not. No. Despair truly was, or is,
hateful.
Very hateful. Like, I love her because I love that kind of character. Yeah. And so funny to hear about her, like,
yeah, and you can
stories.
Make an interesting story with that. Like,
I think as long as you have other players that are okay with it, communication is key.
Yeah.
But I do think it is fine to have that kind of character. And I do think Despair, despite what you're saying, is she has similarities.
Yeah.
But, like, I think everyone finds certain things they like, certain things they don't, especially with their first character.
Yeah, and then you in any D&D game, you take those things and then you move it on to the next game, and suddenly you have a mishmash of every character you've ever played wrapped up into one.
I always say this for my characters. I don't know if you agree. I feel like each time I make a character or play a character, I'm like, this is just a different aspect of my personality.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, which one am I gonna focus on this time?
Yeah, I think that's, like, very, like, D&D.
Yeah.
Like, D&D, because especially if you're playing, like, a game that goes for so long, like, if you're playing a multiple session game, your character is gonna end up being a part of you because it's still in you, you know?
No, and also, like, our table specifically focuses so hard on character development and characters.
A lot of role-playing.
It's almost like we all have theater degrees.
It's like we all have theater degrees.
It's almost like we all met in the theater department in our local university and grew from there.
Yeah. Theater school.
Theater. It's gonna just become the slogan for this.
That's why it's in the name of the channel is Theater of the Unaligned. I mean, theater.
The thing, I still love the name Theater of the Unaligned. Yeah. In hindsight, there's a lot of aspects of it that other people can't understand.
Yeah. We cooked a bit too much there. I think we overcooked it.
I think once people get to know us, because I'm like, the fact that we called ourselves Theater of the Unaligned, no one knows that we all graduated with theater degrees.
No, the funny thing is, part of the reason we picked that name is because when we were trying to formulate making the podcast and we wanted to set ourselves apart, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, our gimmick is going to be that we're all theater students. We quickly found out every single D&D content creator is a theater person.
We really didn't explore the, like, D&D content world before joining it. And it's not a new thing. It's not a new concept.
All our peers went to theater school.
And better ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the whole unaligned aspect, we chose that because we never do character alignments.
Yeah, I think it was after the second campaign, Foster was like, character alignments are too limiting. We're not putting character alignments anymore. Put your sexuality there.
Sure.
That is more interesting.
And I do agree with that. Yeah. But I also think that most other campaigns don't adhere to the alignment thing as hard as we think people do.
Yeah, but they do play with it, and it is a mentioned factor, which always surprises me because I've played at a couple other tables, and when they ask, what's your alignment, I'm being reminded for the first time in years that is something that exists.
It is a thing. I mean, I love the alignment table purely for memes.
Yeah.
Like, for memes, it's gold.
For memes, yes.
It's for memes or for putting, like, yourself on there. Yeah. I think in terms of character. I do think we're right to get rid of alignment.
Yeah.
I just play your character. Have fun with it.
Yeah. People are more than a 1 out of 9 box.
Yeah.
You know?
Everyone's a little good. Everyone's a little bad.
Exactly.
Get some spice in there.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
And I can hear you asking right now, well, then what happens when you get to one of those like doors that opens if you're good? So Foster always asks us in that moment, where do you think your character falls? They don't have to fall there the entire campaign, but in this moment when you're standing at your door, what would you say your alignment is?
That's true. Mm-hmm. I was also going to say, you could just change the question.
What is your sexuality?
And then if the door approves...
If you're bi, the door opens.
And if you want to have a homophobic door, theoretically...
Not the homophobic door!
Or the opposite, maybe the door hates straights.
The door is straight phobic.
Yeah. So, you have chances. Or it just opens for everyone because it just wants to know who you're banging.
Yeah.
And then is like, okay, well,
it's
you
just
can pass
curious.
either way.
The door is actually a census question. It asks how long you've been living at your current house.
I was going to say you have hundreds of doors. Each one is a census question. And then you just move on.
Yeah, you gotta answer all the questions.
There's no wrong answer.
Most people give up and never hand it in, as I have for many years. I mean, Government of Canada, I always fill out my census perfectly.
You just told everyone we're Canadian.
Oh, no! They could have never figured that out. They could have
never figured it out. Anyway.
So what was that about D&D that you were saying?
Oh, sorry. I'm going to bring up my mug and have some Timmy coffee.
I have Timmy's in my mug. Just kidding. I have water. Stay hydrated.
Also have water. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was an energy drink.
Timmy's.
Oh, 2 different ways.
Both have caffeine.
Yeah. I did want to drink caffeine before this, and then now I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I forget.
You'd be even crazier.
I would be. We don't know where that would go. See, D&D themed.
It's D&D themed. We're talking about D&D things, so... Yeah.
No. Yeah. No. Okay. Then the other question I had for people in general. Why did you play D&D for the first time?
I was forced to. I was held against my will and forced to play D&D. Only a slight exaggeration.
I have to explain this. There is a running joke with Theater of the Unaligned that Des every single week quits.
Yeah.
Every week we play.
And it started at week 1.
Every single week when we were playing a session, Des would come and be like, why are we doing this? I quit.
Quitting.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore.
I think my name in the group chat was like, I'm quitting for a while.
I think it still is.
I think it still might be. So I do threaten to quit a lot, but
we know you'll
may
show
or may
up.
not quit.
Oh.
I'm quitting.
Damn. Well, that's all, folks. That's all we have today. Des quit, and I don't have another guest lined up now. Sorry.
But yes, I was forced against my will because I was working with Jay and Brendan, and Foster wanted to host a D&D game. So Foster was like, what about on your day off? The 3 of you come and hang out together and play D&D. And we were like, yeah.
I think Brendan and
Jay were very excited. They were like...
Well, they played before.
I think so.
Right? I mean, we'll find out for sure later. But
maybe Jay will rember things more.
About Jay's life?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But I was like... I don't know. I don't know about this. Like, I'm a little bit on the edge. And then Foster was like, no, but you love improv, and I did D&D improv, actually, which is where the character of Despair originated. I played her in a D&D
so you
improv.
Lied to us. Oh,
well, she was my first D&D character, but she was born in an improv show.
Yes. And I even know which improv show. So I'm acting like this is news to me.
So I was like, okay. I do like my improv character. I'll turn her into a real character, and I'll try D&D. We'll try it.
I don't think it's stuck.
And at first, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like, I'm not really having fun. I hadn't, like, figured out how to make it fun for me yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, I think it's like when you start any game, when you start, like, I've been trying to start learning magic recently. And it's still very much like I don't know about this. And I think D&D can also very much be the same thing.
Yeah.
Especially because Foster was not an experienced DM. Yeah. Everyone was learning together.
Yeah.
If you hear any background noise, it's because there are animals.
It's a ferret. He got the itchies.
He does. So he's very cute. Yeah. One day we'll bring him on, maybe.
Yeah.
Nah. He's cute. Maybe he is. Back on track.
But yeah. So I was held against my will and forced to see this game out.
Gun pointed to your head. Will you play D&D?
Pew pew pointed to my head. Okay.
Pew pew.
Can't say.
Sorry. Getting this podcast canceled
demonetized
fast.
immediately.
We talked about sexuality and now
pew pews. Oh God.
Not the pew pew.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not really having a good time right now. But I stayed because I liked the people that were there. Yeah. So I wasn't really into the game yet, but I was like, oh, these are like my best friends in the world. So I'm gonna play this game with them and see it out to the end of the campaign, which we did, and it was good. Like, by the end I was having fun just disturbing the peace with Melvin.
Jay always plays good characters, and Des always plays chaos gremlins,
and I was not good.
So those two always are like fighting,
diametrically opposed.
Foes.
We're theater kids.
We can, and maybe one day we'll sing the whole soundtrack to something. We'll see.
Tune in next week where I sing all of Be More Chill.
I was just listening to Be More Chill.
Yo.
Michael in the bathroom. I was just like, and I was like, I gotta listen to Be More Chill.
Yeah. But after that campaign, I was like, I'm not doing that again. And Foster was like, one more try. He was like, make a totally different character, like explore what you could do, because D&D is infinite.
True.
So like, if you're not having fun, do something else. And I was like, okay, fine. So I made my next character, Miko, who is a half orc, half goblin.
She was just a very short orc.
She was half orc, half goblin, but half orc by stat.
Yeah.
And she was like very positive and fun and bubbly.
She was
very, very different from Despair.
Also a kid.
Yeah, she was 13.
Yeah. I'm like, you went from Despair, who's like very 18
she's like 27.
Plus, to Miko, who is very PG, like adorable little girl.
Yes, she was an adorable little girl.
Who's really just there just for the vibe.
She was vibing.
She was just vibing.
Just chilling.
It's so great.
Yeah.
And we have some great art of Miko.
Yeah.
Like, I don't here.
No.
Whoop.
No. No.
Can you add that in post?
No. Yeah, so I did start to have more fun as I like explored different character motivations and stuff. And I'd say like 6 sessions into Curse of Strahd, I'm like, okay, I kind of like D&D. I kind of mess with D&D. And then when the next campaign came up, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to play. I don't know.
Wait, you weren't going to play Waterdeep?
I don't know if I'm going to play.
Whoa, wait, this is news to me.
I don't remember. Like I said, I threatened to quit every week. And there was some truth in that where like, I didn't know if I wanted to commit my time to D&D.
And this is another thing that when we say commit time.
Oh, yeah.
We used to play 12-hour sessions.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday. We would get there, like 10 a.m.?
Yeah.
And we would play until like midnight or 10 p.m. midnight.
Yeah. We would probably do 8 or 9 hours of actual playtime.
Yeah. And like we would have a break there. Sometimes Foster would make us wings. Vegan wings for me.
Yeah. And Ben.
When Ben joined, which was nice for me, not being the only vegetarian. And straight up.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so we really it was a time commitment.
Yeah.
I think I had to pass on a lot of family obligations so I could play D&D.
Family? Who's that? I need D&D.
I need D&D.
Yeah.
So we were very intense. We've chilled.
Yeah.
We chilled out.
I mean, yeah. And I now that I think about it, I was definitely on the D&D train by the time you joined because I'm the one who invited you.
It's true. We can get into our origin story together as well. We can get into that. We recently just talked about this, so this is so fun. Des and I really bonded on a car ride.
Yeah.
Where we were driving back from a wedding gown shopping because we were both bridesmaids for our friend. But we weren't very close.
No, we were in school together, and we
knew each other.
A class or two together.
Yeah. We were friendly.
We were both in the same program, so we were friendly.
We were friendly, but we weren't super close.
No.
Which is weird now.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, ooh, we're weirdly close.
Yeah. Comment down below what matching tattoos me and Nara should get.
We are getting a matching tattoo this summer.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I know. I was trying to look at, like, stuff that could be cool. I Googled, I was like, things that link together.
Because
tattoo. 5e, Reddit.
More backstory. More backstory.
More backstory.
Des and I are convinced.
We're connected.
We have a weird link.
We finish each other's
sentences. Never done before. Because anything that happens to Des in a weird way happens to me, and anything that happens to me in a weird way happens to Des. Like, constantly. Yeah. And I don't know if you remember this. This is like a weird core memory for me about us. It was one of the first times you and I, outside of the car ride, were going to hang out. We were like, hey, I had to go to you to get a costume for theater. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, come by Saturday to the wardrobe department.
Because I was the costume manager at the time.
And I was like, cool. And you're like, we should get coffee or something after. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. And then I showed up. And you and I were wearing the exact same thing.
We were both wearing blue jeans and Beatles t-shirts.
And we had our hair in the same hairstyle, which was just like a simple ponytail.
Like half up, half down, probably.
Yeah. We just looked weirdly similar.
Yeah. And I think we both had flannels on top of our Beatles t-shirts.
They weren't the same Beatles t-shirts, but
but they were both black Beatles t-shirts.
Like graphic tees with like an album cover or something on it. And
they
both
were
had
weirdly similar.
They're weirdly similar. And I think about, and that was like, I was like, that was to me was the start of the link.
This is my person.
That was the start of everything.
Yeah. But back to the car ride.
Yeah, so we bonded on this car ride, and Des invited me to a D&D game. Yeah. And was like, hey, because I was talking about how I like D&D, but never really played it a lot, because where I grew up, people played, but I wasn't part of that.
Oh, Nara,
I'm very traumatized about it.
And that's what Nara was actually saying in the car ride. She was saying, when I was a kid, no one would let me play at their D&D table.
No one let me. And it was so sad. I was all alone, and I just watched through a window while they all played.
And then how could I not invite her?
Yeah, thanks for that.
I was backed into a corner.
I really pointed a pew to your head. And then invite me to your D&D game or else.
That is what happened. And I was driving. It was very dangerous.
Yeah, I had no choice. Yeah. I was like, I will crash this car.
Nara, hands on the wheel. Ready.
Do it, Des. Do it. Invite me.
Invite me to your D&D game.
So we bonded.
And I invited Nara to the D&D game the following Sunday.
Yeah. And
without asking anyone in the group, too, which was a little bit rude. I think I got home and I was like, hey, gang, What if Nara from the theater department comes along on Sunday?
And like, I was not close to Foster J or the other member that
players.
Was it 2? No, it was just 1.
No.
Victor.
And Demetrius.
Oh, I never played with Demetrius.
Oh, really? Demetrius took a lot of weeks off. Not his real name, that's his character's name, but...
Yeah, these are their character names.
He's an anonymous.
Yeah, I've never played with Demetrius. I think I maybe... Oh, wait, no.
Maybe
no,
once.
I did. A few times, but not a lot. Not a lot. I played with Demetrius a few, and at one point there was one other person there too.
Yeah, a Warforged of some
like
kind.
Mushroom Spore guy.
Spore Druid. Warforged.
I don't remember who that was.
I know the real human name.
I don't remember the real human.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I did play with Demetrius a few times. I was thinking of the Mushroom Spore guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So I joined, and I joined quite a ways into the campaign. Like 2/3 in.
I don't even remember what we were doing. But yeah, if you've played Curse of Strahd, a lot had already happened.
I came in very late, but I still had a lot of fun, and then they never got rid of me.
Yeah. We actually brought Nara in as a guest seat because this is where the Druid Spore guy comes in. The Spore Druid he was also a guest seat.
Yes.
So Foster wanted to try like a rotating cast for our home games, and Nara came in as a guest and never left.
And it is still a running joke within Totu that I am just a guest here. Not a permanent member. If anyone wants to join Totu, there may be a seat coming up.
Seat. It could open any day.
It's not like I'm hosting a podcast here or anything. Or lived with you guys. I moved out, so I guess that's a sign it's opening up.
That you're a guest.
Yeah.
Always a guest. You're always a guest in our house after you stayed here for 5 months on the couch.
Don't remind me.
As soon as we moved here, Nara was so excited. Have her own apartment.
Excited.
Flooded.
Like
Came back to us right away.
Like 2 months into living in, not even 2 months.
Yeah.
Like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Of living in my own place. I came here and I was like, guys, I'm only going to stay like max a month.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 5 months later, I moved out.
5 months later.
They were very gracious hosts as I crashed in their living room.
We gave her a
5
couch.
months.
Yeah.
It was very genuinely
and these
very
curtains
grateful.
were hung up for privacy.
Look, it's my room.
Yeah. We are in Nara's former room right now.
The living room.
Yeah. With the curtains.
See, more trauma. Why are we bringing up all my
Trauma? No, that was just a silly, goofy speed bump.
It was, I'm actually genuinely still so grateful for that, and I'll never forget, like, so grateful.
You'll forgive us for all the other wacky stuff we did. We have built up we have
so much
like a year of goodwill from Nara now. So.
Oh, you guys get a solid get out of jail free card for a while.
Nice.
So congrats.
Nice.
But yeah.
So there's no guest seat opening for at least a year.
At least a year. Sorry,
but
guys.
check back next year. We'll see how we're doing.
We'll see what's happening. We'll see if anything comes up.
But like, we're
either Des is quitting or I'm getting kicked off.
Yeah.
There might be 2 openings.
2 openings. Apply down below.
No.
You don't want this.
You don't understand. It ropes you in.
You don't want to be talking to someone in character on their porch for 2 hours.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It's a lot. We're intense.
We're a lot of intense personalities, but luckily we all balance each other out.
Yeah.
Where it works in a weird way.
Yeah, we become symbiotic.
Good word.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say a polycule.
A rat king. All of our tails are tied together and we can never separate or we'll die.
Oh my god, it's almost like that's our logo.
On screen now.
On screen. Can we put it in post? Can we put a little logo right there? That'd be
Can
great.
you superimpose the logo onto the clock?
I did have like semi-game planned. This is our final thing.
Our final tangent.
I do need my phone for this. Okay. So, secret phone.
Where did that come from?
It's magic. I'm shocked. I did not have this here the whole time.
What?
What?
Wizards are real?
I feel like you're the only person I could theoretically do this with.
Okay.
I have on my phone a list of monsters because I'm very bad at D&D monsters.
Okay.
And I know you are too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ben knows way too many D&D monsters.
Ben, Foster, and Jay are all out.
They are all out.
Yeah.
So I had just, in theory, like, I've written down some interesting names, some interesting concepts for monsters. You tell me whether or not you think they are real D&D monsters. And we will superimpose an image of a monster right here. And we'll see. We'll see.
Superimpose it on the clock. Just kidding. Sorry, Jay.
Sorry, Jay, who will be editing this one. So, episode, sorry.
Sadly, Ben's on vacation.
God dang it.
Yeah.
That man and his teeth.
I know.
He went to a dentist appointment.
He went to the dentist on vacation.
Okay. This one I'm just going to say the name.
Okay.
Susurrus.
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 Susurrus. Okay, I think that's a real D&D monster, and I think it's kind of like a changeling. It takes other people's skin and wears it to be among us. Sus.
Oh. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, how'd I do?
It is a real D&D monster. Yes. You're right. I can show you an image.
Oh, okay. Not what I thought.
If we could superimpose that right there. Yeah. It's like a weird diamond-looking thing with barbs.
Yeah, not what I expected.
Not what you expected, right?
No.
Yeah, it comes from the Monster Manual 3, originally from there. Has some cool attacks. I feel like, one that maybe people can play with more. Not enough people play with
the Susurrus in your game today.
Put the Susurrus back in there.
Yeah.
Back in there.
Bring back the Susurrus.
Bring it back.
Just us for Susurrus.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's the catchphrase of the podcast.
What?
Just us
Just
for Susurrus. That's the name, actually.
Mm-hmm. This next one.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I'm giving it away because I'm having to find it.
You're like, is it real?
Is it real? Let me scroll to where it was. You'd think I would have this saved, but I was unprepared. Because I
prepared your game very well.
Okay, this one I'm going to give you a description of.
Okay.
Yeah, and also my list is like some homebrewed monsters, so it could be a homebrew.
Okay, I'll guess homebrew if I think it's homebrew.
This one has bird feet.
Okay.
But like frog legs.
Okay.
With a hunched spine. And a very interesting bulbous face that is just looks like it. And then it has like a tiny mouth. Yeah. Tell me what you think this would be called. I can also maybe show you and you can try and tell me what you think it would be called.
What I think it would be called.
I'm working out this game. What do you think this monster would be called?
Oh my god.
Can we superimpose that? What do you think this would be called?
Frogtastic.
What did you think of my description?
It was pretty good.
Pretty accurate, right? Yeah. We could play Pictionary like this.
Yeah, I think it's Frogtastican.
Frogtastican.
Yeah.
After Susurrus, you're really like, hey, they must be hitting
they
low
must have
bars.
Crazy names out here.
No, it's Zern Arcanivore. Duh.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound so fantasy?
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Very fantasy.
Oh, there's more Zerns, too. This is the original Zern.
Zern,
because the other one was Zern.
Oh, it was a variation of Zern.
There's series of Zern. So check out Zern. That's a good looking
to your game today.
Add Zerns. There's different versions of Zerns. If we could superimpose them there.
We could add a Zern in post, please.
This one I'm going to show you. You're going to tell me what you think this is called.
Oh, it kind of looks like it almost looks like it could be like a beholder, but without eyes.
It looks like it could be a beholder without eyes. It's kind of plant looking almost, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna say that's. Wait, is that a shambling mound?
No.
Dang it.
No, they are much more plant-like.
Okay,
I do love a shambling mound.
I do love shambling mounds. That's one thing I know the name of. Okay, is that a bee grabber?
Bee grabber.
Bee grabber.
I think we should rename these.
Yeah.
No, it's called a life leech.
You know what? That's actually guessable.
I thought you might have been able to get that.
Silly now.
But it doesn't look anything like a leech.
I mean, the arms
teeth
kind of look like leeches.
The little, like, arm teeth things.
Although I've been lucky in my life to not have encountered a lot of leeches.
Okay, so in terms of leeches, I feel like that game. Now we're getting into this real quick.
Yeah.
We did 3 monsters. I'm impressed with us.
Yeah.
I'll plan it better next time.
Yeah.
Anyway, in terms of leeches.
Yeah, so leeches. I haven't encountered many, but I feel like Nara.
What?
Has.
I may have a leech story.
Oh, you have a.
I have a leech.
Your leech
I will share my leech story. This is some Nara lore. When I was a young little gal running around, me and my sisters went to a beautiful lake.
Aww.
Yeah, it was nice.
That's so nice.
It had leeches in it.
Oh no.
But we really liked these leeches.
Did you know what a leech was? Or
yes. 100% we knew what a leech was.
But you were like, it's so cute.
It attached to us. This is how we found these leeches, was they were on us.
Oh my God.
So we found 3 leeches total. It was attached to us. And we thought they were so cute, we had to take them home.
No.
And we had an empty fish tank because our fish probably had died recently.
I don't like where this is going.
So we had some pet leeches in our fish tank.
No, honey.
And we would feed them like grasshoppers and stuff.
Oh my God.
I don't know if that's what they even eat. I'll be honest.
Did they probably did eat them though, because you were keeping them in a fish tank.
Dang, they had no other options. Yeah. Little did we know, either one was already pregnant, or one of them was male and another one was I don't know how leeches procreate either, or how they get babies. But
they had leech babies.
So the 3 leeches were named Bob, Bobby, and Bobette, as one does.
I think I know what Bob and Bobette were up to.
I think Bob and Bobette, I think they were a married couple.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Well, no, we won't see. They're probably dead.
Anyway. Did they die? I'm sure that's what happened next.
I feel like you know the story.
I do know the story.
I feel like you know the story and you're trying to get me to tell a specific part of the story. So one day we woke up and there was a ton of baby leeches in our fish tank, which obviously we can't
afford to have that many leeches.
We don't have enough grasshoppers for that. So we asked my dad to help out. He's worse at handling things than us, it turns out, because he went to our local lake.
Yeah.
And dumped the leeches into them. This lake was not populated by leeches until we came around. Anyway.
And I'm sure they all left, and it's not populated by leeches anymore, right?
I don't think anyone's ever actually gotten a leech on them in that lake.
Okay, so
I think they've died out by now.
They have a small leech family, but they're not taking over.
It's not taking over. I don't know if they're still alive. I haven't swam in that lake in recent years.
There might be leeches.
There might be leeches. I don't want to deal with that.
But only might.
Only might.
Yeah.
If anyone who grew up in my town is listening to this by on the off chance.
No, there's not. You never heard anything.
You don't know this. You don't know me. You don't know this story.
And if you're a Canadian government official,
You don't know this story as we do our census.
As I fill out my census, I like to put down, I never dumped any leeches in a public lake.
It's good to have it in there, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Cover all your bases.
Yeah. Fill out your census.
Sponsored by the Canadian government.
Sponsored by every census.
Yeah, I feel like we need to wrap this up before one of us gets taken out by
a pew pew.
By a pew pew. Either by one of us doing it or some anonymous third figure doing it. But thank you, Des, for coming to the first episode of Podcast of the Unaligned.
Whoa, what a great name.
Whoa, good thing we don't have theater in there.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that might be
make
confusing.
No sense.
And no one knows we have theater degrees.
No one knows.
So thank you so much for enduring this with me.
Thanks for having me,
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, guys, when I bring Ben on here and we try and talk to that guy. I don't know what that'll be like.
Yeah.
might be more of this, might be something different. It's new, and I'm excited.
New and exciting.
It's exciting, and since we're so sorry we can't bring you For the Gods, I hope this satiates your hunger. Yeah. In the meantime, you can get to know Theater of the Unaligned here, and eventually we'll bring on other people too, so you'll see other D&D creators here if they'll have us.
Yeah.
And
that'd be cool.
That would be cool. And again, comment any questions you have, and any name ideas. If you don't like Podcast of the Unaligned, or it might stick, I'm warming up to it more and more.
Podcast of the Unaligned.
It just brings it. Yeah. And I really appreciate this.
Yeah.
And thank you all for listening to this rambling episode of ours.
Yeah. First episodes are hard.
First episodes are a lot, but very happy.
Gen Con?
I'm getting there. Don't worry. Very happy to have Des on because we have a lot of fun stories to tell, and we're definitely going to do this again because Des and I do somehow have more stories.
Yeah.
That too.
We've barely scratched the surface of Des and Nara stories.
We have a weird amount of, we covered the biggest ones.
Yeah.
But we can also go more in depth.
But next time we'll talk about how we started Totu.
True. We will, actually. That is a story we do gotta tell. Actually, I'm so sad that didn't come up now. Next time. Thanks for being here. And other big announcements. Dun da da da. Theater of the Unaligned is going to Gen Con. What? And we are hosting a panel. Well, actually, we're at a panel hosted by Dice Cream Sandwich, our good friend, and we love him, and he's doing us a huge favor, and we love him for it.
Yeah, we're collaborating.
We're collaborating.
It's been in the works for a while.
We have a huge announcement, guys, coming up.
If you come to this Gen Con
please come to Gen Con. And we would also love to touch base with you all. We haven't had any real chances to encounter fans because that's still a weird concept to us. And we would love to see you there so genuinely. You'll hear more ramblings, but with all 5 of us instead of 2 of us at a time.
Yeah, we will be doing a full Q&A panel hosted by Dice Cream Sandwich. Yes. So you can bring all of your questions there. And then there will also be a sick announcement.
But also post your questions below in comments so that maybe we can get a head start on this. Because, what if we don't get to your question there? We'll definitely get to it here.
But if you are going to Gen Con,
hit us up.
Get your ticket now for our panel.
Yeah. Yes, we are on Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. And we hope it all goes well.
Yeah.
We are so excited to be there.
Scared, but
this is our first time, doing anything like this. I only went to my first con this year.
Yeah.
And so I'm so excited to go to another con. So excited to do this panel.
Goodbye money.
We have a spending problem at cons. Who doesn't?
Why do they put so many pretty things out if I'm not supposed to buy all of them?
So shiny. And so pretty. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I don't know how
I have a problem.
D&D Anonymous shopping a haul.
Yeah.
Shop a haul.
As soon as the corset stand loves to see me coming, but my wallet hates it.
Yeah. I need to wear corsets more so I can justify buying more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully we see you at Gen Con. We're so excited. We're also going to be doing more promos about this, so you won't forget. We won't let you. We will force you to remember. Remember us.
Please remember us.
Please. We want to be relevant.
Don't let our channel die yet.
We're working so hard to bring For the Gods back.
Yeah.
I promise. We're all stressed about it. I miss it. I miss playing D&D.
Yeah.
And so this is how we do it in the meantime.
Yeah, we just chilling.
Anyway, and that's the end of episode 1 of Podcast of the Unaligned. Outro that we don't have. So this will
look at the center cam.
Podcast.
A special thank you to our thespian tier patrons: Absentia Litchi, Aerith Kuragari, Aiden Morel, Alden Height, Alexander the Boss, Alfred Studwell, Barbarian Bloodbath, Biggest Shots, Daniel Close, Thinkster, Disaster, Felix, For Gods Only, Glenn Lane, Heat 312, On the Civic, Isaiah, James Brabazon, Yosavina Privatna, Galachai Karchi, otherwise known as Sea Tractor, Kitterox, L1X, Loafish, Maple, Marvel, Megan Roberts, Mike, Mistwalker, Nani, Northsoul, Oatmeal, Overripe Loki, Paulo Sistari, Queen Kenda, S41KO, Shayon, Saki Fur, Steel, Tom Hutchinson, Victoria Meek, Wilhelm the Foolish, and Yummy Boy.